Welcome back to What Arty Noobs for General Disturbance, and this is an S-51, the Tier 7 Soviet SPG, which is not on the main Arty line, which is after the KV-2 with the 203mm howitzer. This is quite a monster. Now we're on the north spawn of Erlenberg, and this is an encounter battle. No, not an encounter, sorry. It is an assault battle, get it right. Okay. Right. And the commander of this S-51 is Sinkio 777. Now the S-51, it actually did exist in prototypes, but they can never get it to work because it was just too, the gun was just too powerful for the chassis. It would literally shake the thing to pieces. They tried everything. When they test fired it, it would knock the crew out of their seats because it was so powerful. Okay, he's aiming at the castle straight away. Early arrivals. So eventually, after repeated testing, and they couldn't get the thing to work properly, even after theorizing that they could link two chassis together to try and make it work that way, give it a bit more stability, it couldn't work, and eventually they decided, no, it's not going to work, scrap it. And of course they needed more tanks, not Artys, and that T-67 has just met a 203mm shell and been wiped out. 610 hit points with one shot. Now the problem with the S-51 is it does have a reasonably long reload, but it is very good at either one-shotting a tank if you've got a very good aim, or it can score bombardiers. And I've seen a lot of bombardiers scored by S-51s because the blast radius is actually quite big. Okay, now Sinkio 777 has just got into the trees in time because the enemy is almost at the river to the west of him. There's a VK3002D. Version of the Panther, but one of the prototypes. And we've got an IS-4 as well. Was it an IS? Sorry, it's an IS-3, beg your pardon. Of course, this is a Tier 8 battle, so he's going to come up against pretty tough opponents. And that's top tier, that IS-3. Okay, thinking that he's going to be in those bushes. I agree with that. I think that's where he's most likely to be. He'll poke up through the bush. Yes, he has. There he is. Lining up a shot. Get it right, round out. I think that's going to be a bit short. Yep. He could have aimed that directly over the vehicle. That round was aimed just ahead of it, and it landed just ahead of it. But still 167 hit points. So that's something, but the unfortunate thing is now the enemy is at the riverbank, and they're using that riverbank to actually conceal themselves, go hull down on the river edge. And that's quite a smart move because it's very difficult to hit a tank that's actually in that hull down position, except of course when they're faced by Arty. And the IS-3 used the bridge. It's cut across straight onto the waterfront and come around the side of the buildings. Sinkio's lining up a shot, no doubt. No, it hit the building just in front. So it stunned the IS-3 at the very least. Meanwhile, that 3002D is still going up and down the riverbank, shooting rounds at the defenders. He's been joined by a T-71DA who's doing exactly the same. Who's using a hull down position in the river to enable him to fight the defenders. Right, there's the IS-3 again. In fact, it's been joined by a T-34-85 across the river, also firing at the defenders. Dialing in the aim much better this time. Should get it straight. That's about right. Round out. No, it hits the front of the building again. That's awkward. And the T-34-85 across the river has been taken out. Now there's only 4 minutes 35 seconds still to go on the clock. The enemy's got 3 tanks near the cap, but they're still having difficulty. Okay, almost reloaded. He's going to go after that IS-3 again. Oh, no, taken out before he can fire. Now there is an enemy in the cap, or was, for briefly. Because whoever it was jumped out of the cap again. But we haven't got sight of them at the moment. Now the other Arty's an M44 and he's firing into the cap. Now Sinkio's going after the only enemy that can actually be sighted at this moment, which is an AMX M445. But the enemy has been sighted in the cap now. And killed. So there is somebody still in there, we just can't see them because the tank that's nearby, the medium that's nearby, is just not spotting. Ah, there they are. Right, they have been seen. There's one still in the cap, but there's one outside the cap as well. Meanwhile, he's trying to shoot at a target which really is not in the cap and not affecting the cap. Okay, that's better. Now, it must be either in that gap or just behind the buildings. Because if you can't be seen directly... Of course, the problem is that VK3002M is not spotting for us. There they are. There it is. And a splash will kill that VK30. Yep, it does. 45 hit points. That's the problem, you see. You get players who just won't spot. They're in a medium, so they think, well, spotting's the job of a light tank. No, it's the job of any tank, even Arty. Okay, the enemy Hummel has found out where the S-51 was and got a big hit in for 166 hit points. I think the problem there was Sinkio was not relocating between shots and paid for it by losing half of the hit points. You're going to have to relocate every shot from now on because that Hummel is going to want to take out this S-51. Oh, he's knocked over a tree. That's again given away his position to the enemy Arty. And he stopped. And he's been hit again. That's predictable. Do not knock down anything that tells the enemy where you are, because the enemy will fire at that spot. They know that something's there. Something had to knock the spot down. And so he's paid for it again by another 83 hit points. And yet again he's aiming at these targets to the south. Right, there's that AMX-12T. That's a more dangerous opponent, but it's behind the house. But he can splash it by shooting around at the side of the house. And that will do a lot of damage. Now it's the last minute, and the enemy still hasn't put enough players or enough of their team into the cap. And that SDRV-74, his only hope is to actually kill the rest of the team. There's only 3 members left on Sinkio's team, and he's just splashed him for 248 hit points and 2 critical hits. That's certainly going to slow him down. Or he's just lost his teammate. Just lost the M44. So it's just him now. And the IKV-90, who's at the back of the map. And he's firing. There's another round from the enemy Arty. Of course, the enemy Arty is guessing where he is now. They're starting to cap, but it's too late. They won't be able to cap out in time. Oh, that means he's on his own now. Can he survive this last few seconds? 2, 1, 0, and that's it. He survived alone against more than one enemy. Does that mean what I think it does? Yes, it is. So Sinkio 777, he's managed to get a Bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 7, but B, and more importantly, he's got a Kolobanov. He was alone against more than one enemy. I think it was 6 enemy at the end. May have been 7. Because count that actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, 6 enemy at the end and survived. So he managed to get a Kolobanov medal, the medal that everyone would like to get, as well as a Defender medal for reducing the cap points by at least 70 capture points. And he did do that when he took out that VK3002M. If we look at the team scores, well, he came 4th on damage with 1,119 hit points, but he came 2nd when it came to kills with 2, and he came 5th on base XP of 501. He fired only 7 rounds, got 1 direct hit, 1 penetration, 5 splash, damage of 1,119 hit points, of which 871 were up more than 300 meters. He received 2 hits from the Hummel because he didn't move fast enough, and he damaged 4 enemy, killed 2 of them. He also did stun assistance damage of 66 hit points and caused by 4 stuns, and reduced the enemy cap points, or rather defense points, by 74. So it was just 4 points more than he actually needed to get the Kolobanov, or to get the Defender medal rather, I should say. And on a standard account he earned 16,829 credits, but after repair and the ammunition resupply he took away just 15 credits. I think the reason behind that is because the rounds for the 203mm howitzer are rather expensive, and even though he only fired 7 rounds at just under 2,000 a pop, that's quite expensive. He received base XP of 501, but it was ×2 for the first victory of the day, so he took away 1,002 experience points in total. So I think this was quite a good battle. I don't exactly understand what he means, but he says S-51 fart Jiangyo Swat. I'm not really conversant with which language that is, but I mean, we could look it up. But well done, Stinkyo, for getting a Kolobanov. It's just I think that it was very, very lucky that you survived, because that enemy tank was just coming over the rise and was about to put an end to you just when the clock ran out. So well done for surviving that long. If you enjoyed this replay, please give it a like and do subscribe to our channel, and hopefully it'll be your replay I'll be featuring in our next video.